If you say what you really think, you will be fired from your job. A car will show up in the middle of the night and you will never be seen again. In an oppressive government, personal freedom is restricted, and in turn, it becomes much harder to find fulfillment and happiness.
Take the people of Poland, for example, who lived under the tyranny of a restrictive government.
From the words of Anna Chodakowicz, recounting her memories of her grandmother who lived through the establishment of the totalitarian regime.
All I can say is that she was not your ordinary grandmother, and not only because the brutality of torture permanently bent her body and deformed her face. It was hard to look at her or listen to her, or the advice she would give, and imagine that the world of my childhood, where torture and killing of political opponents was not even collateral damage, but a deliberate plan and a calculated price of progress, was anything approaching normal.
This kind of environment, personal freedom is completely controlled by the government. Individual liberty has taken an intimate relationship with happiness. Contentment is always out of reach as a result of lack of control. In extremely repressive regimes, this phenomena is clear, and the people of that country rise up and revolt. The time in between the installation of the government and the revolt can often be characterized by overall discontent or overall unhappiness. However, what about the moderately repressive regimes? Is happiness out of reach there?
In the case of Anna Chodakowicz, her family grew up in Vilnius, which used to be Poland until 1939. First, imagine that the central government controls everything, not just the post office and all the administration offices, but everything. All the schools are state-run. The curriculum is established by the state.
The state is in the business of doing everything, dispensing medical care, selling foods, clothes, furniture, installing phones, allotting places to live, but not really even a modicum of privacy. Often, 3 generations sit in the same tiny space, with the result that you are never alone, never able to hear yourself think.
If there was a shortage of everything, from pencils, paper, toilet paper, shoes, food, medication, gasoline, cars, space to live, you name it, we were lacking it. People lined up in front of the stores just in case early in the morning, hoping that something would be delivered, but never knowing what.
On the street, the militiamen could stop you, search you, and detain you for no reason. They hated students.
The government controlled everything. It's easy to take freedom for granted, but it was hard won by generations before. The revolutions of history sought to guarantee this right to liberty.
Around the world, regardless of skin color or gender, there's a clear trend. Free people are happy people. From the perspective of a man living under the repressive government of Venezuela, if you want to preserve freedom, if you want to preserve your right to express yourself, if you want to preserve your ability critical thinking, you cannot do this in the environment.
So we looked at freedom of press ratings as well as a way to gauge the overall freedom of the country and the 2016 World Happiness Ratings, and discovered a trend within the data. The freer the country, the happier it is.
Wow, that's astonishing. For example, the Northern European countries
who have a long-standing reputation for being the happiest places also, interestingly enough, have some of the highest freedom of the press ratings.
The trend continues as you look at other countries.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These words, famous for their role in the Declaration of Independence, are like many of the rest of the country's founding documents, save for happiness. This reference to an all-important abstract idea, happiness, fails to appear anywhere in most countries' governing documents.
However, more countries than in the past have more free policies to guarantee the rights of their people, and thus the quality of life has gone up.
One thing to remember, always, those who live under crazy oppressive regimes have all the needs you have and all the desires you experience. It's the legal system, not human nature, that sets the two places apart. When the legal system or government makes it difficult or nearly impossible to find fulfillment or freedom, happiness is also beyond reach. In the case of Anna Chodakowicz, we see she moved out of the oppressive regime of Poland and into a freer country, the United States, where she did find happiness and fulfillment in her life. Thank you.
Thank you. These are our sources.